Let's check out what's happening weather-wise across the country and across the world. Let's go to meteorologist Bonnie Schneider, who's in our control room with more on that. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Reggie. We are starting off in Australia because of the incredible bushfires that have been plaguing the Victoria region of southern Australia. With record heat in this region, the temperature in Melbourne on Saturday climbed to 115.5 degrees. That is the hottest temperature ever recorded for Melbourne. And that's when we saw the peak of explosive growth with these fires. But then a cold front came through on Sunday, and that helped to cool things down. As high pressure is offshore, you're looking at Google Earth to show you where the fires are burning now. High pressure offshore will help to bring about more of a southerly flow to the winds. The southerly flow, because we're talking about Australia and the southern hemisphere, means we get more of a maritime flow. So temperatures drop by 40 degrees from Saturday to Sunday. So that's good news. The problem is we still have brisk winds in the forecast today. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning in Australia right now. So today, as we go through the day, the winds could get as strong as 30 or 40 miles per hour. That's not going to help firefighters, but at least the cooler temperatures will make somewhat of a difference. So some good news there, as you can see. As we move on now, I want to show you what else is going on in terms of international weather. We are also tracking a very strong area of low pressure coming in from the Atlantic, moving into France. With that said, the intensity of this storm has caused the French Meteorological Service, the Météo Français, if we can show you a graphic there, to put up 61 warning alerts over well over 100 regions of the département for France. All those areas you see highlighted in orange are on severe weather alerts for strong wind. Now also, as we speak, in about 18 minutes from now, all 3 airports in Paris will be shut down for about 10 to 12 hours because of the winds so strong. That also includes the Paris's Charles de Gaulle, major airport for Europe, Orly and Le Bourget. They will close tonight, their time, about 8 p.m. Now that means it'll close into the overnight hours for all flights and then reopen on Tuesday. We're expecting the winds to be so fierce that they could rival what we saw in southern France on January 14th, where we had severe wind damage there. So lots happening in the world of international weather, no doubt. Let's take a look at what's happening in the United States, because we also have some extreme weather right here in the U.S. mainland. You're looking at ice storm warnings for the northern plains, including northern Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, as well as even parts of Nebraska to the south. What we are looking at is an ice storm in the Grand Forks area, because we're going to see temperatures that'll be just a little too warm for this to be all snow. So the moisture will freeze on contact. This could cause major power outages in the region. We're also looking at wintry weather in terms of snow, kind of on the backside of that system, meaning into Bismarck. That's where we'll see more of a snow event. And in Duluth, Minnesota, the same thing holds true. So cold temperatures there at the extreme northern parts of the U.S. If you're doing some traveling, this will affect your travel forecast. Let's take a look at the United States as well. We're going to look at the radar picture. This is the area. It's interesting. We were thinking about major severe weather in terms of tornadoes to break out today in the southern plains. It looks like that weather setup will occur more for Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to watch this area very closely. You can already see, almost by the comma shape of the rain, that we have a strong area of low pressure over parts of Kansas. That's pushing to the northeast. It's bringing rain into Dallas, Texas at this hour, Shreveport, Louisiana, and all the way into Fort Smith, Arkansas, as well as into Kansas City, Missouri. This is all heading to St. Louis if you're going to be driving in Memphis, Tennessee. So watch out for wet weather there. Temperatures are finally feeling like spring across the country. We've got some good looking numbers for you. Washington, D.C. climbs all the way up to 51 today, 60 yesterday in New York City. Today you'll see a high of 43 degrees, and we'll look for temperature of 36 in Boston, and Los Angeles has been a little bit cool, so you'll stay in the 50s there. But notice most of the country, with the exception of the extreme northwest, will be seeing mild temperatures. So some good news with that in the weather forecast, Reggie. If you're ready for spring, getting closer.
I am, and boy, do I feel for those people in Australia.
Yes.
Now, the number is up to 170 people at least who have died, and it's so strange, Bonnie, that you've got these extreme dry temperatures and hot temperatures in one area, and then, I guess, flooding in other parts of Australia.
That's exactly right. If only we could get rain in southern sections of Australia, Victoria State. You're looking at the fires burning. Allegedly, these fires were started by arsonists, and they couldn't have picked a worse time to spread the fires because the wind was so fierce at times times on Saturday, it got up to hurricane force strength. That combined with soaring record temperatures. I mentioned Melbourne up to 115. Nearby Avalon, which is just to the north and west of Melbourne, temperatures also climbed well above 100 degrees. And over the past few weeks, we've seen a series of hot days. So that means the tinder was completely dried out. You'll maybe remember the tennis match earlier, just not too long ago in Melbourne, where the players, where a lot of the games were postponed due to the heat. So hot temperatures, we're in the middle of summer there, has been a huge problem in that region. Temperatures have cooled down today, Reggie. We'll see a high today in Australia. In Melbourne, for example, 69 degrees, so that's better.
Right.
But we still have the strong winds. It's not over yet.
All right, this is a good day to have you here. Meteorologist Bonnie Schneider in our control room. Thanks, Bonnie.
Sure.